So recently, rapper Cardi B was on trial defending herself against a plaintiff who claimed she assaulted her. At the time of the incident, Cardi was 13 weeks pregnant with her first child and going to see her OBGYN. According to Cardi, the plaintiff, who was the security guard of the building, tried filming her in the building and a verbal altercation followed. Cardi maintains that she didn't touch the security guard, and the security guard requested $24 million in damages. Now, I'm not here to debate who did what or who's in the wrong. Cardi was found to be innocent, but she certainly has had a history of other alleged acts of violence. Instead, what I'd like to do today is to break down the ways in which Cardi has responded to the lawyer's attempts to bait her, because I frankly think we can all learn from it. How should we react when someone is trying to bait us into incriminating ourselves or into getting into an altercation with them or trying to pick a fight? Why is it that public opinion has been so much in Cardi's favor throughout this case? I think she's an incredibly charismatic and intelligent person, and I think we've all seen from other sort of publicized celebrity trials too, that these things turn into almost like a type of sport where people pick sides almost as if they're watching their favorite team. And the main instrument used to win that sport is charisma. Both the crowd and, let's be honest, the jury decide who's guilty and who's innocent, in large part due to likability. So let's get started. When someone is trying to bait you into an argument and you do not want to fall for it, what are some ways that you can charismatically react? All inspired from Cardi B's behavior throughout this trial. So before I go into the lessons from this trial, I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about why the attorney was trying to bait Cardi and why it backfired so much. Cardi was accused of assaulting someone. Therefore, it was important for the plaintiff's attorney to paint her as an angry, dysregulated, easily triggered woman. It seemed to me like he was trying to lean into stereotypes about angry Black women as part of his strategy, because often a really easy way to target somebody's likability is to target biases that people have about different identities they hold. And the easiest way to get a jury to believe the plaintiff is if they see with their own eyes her aggression. But the attorney seriously underestimated Cardi, because although, like I said, she has a long-standing history of being accused of violence, Cardi came off looking very authentic, very charismatic, and very likable. And his repeated attempts at trying to bait her unsuccessfully made him look crazy instead, made him look like he was trying to pick a fight, like he was trying to be combative. I believe at one point even the judge sort of scolded him for his tone. And that's kind of what happens when somebody is trying to bait you, trying to be combative, and you do not take the bait. They come off looking crazy instead. What are the 6 things that Cardi did in this trial that had that effect? Lesson number 1, when someone is coming at you aggressively, lean into disbelief instead of matching their aggression. Cardi's facial expressions in the trial were iconic. They will be memes for months to come. They point out how ridiculous some of the attorney's line of questioning was.
Honey, I don't know what that means.
What is special interrogatories?
I do not know.
What are requests for admissions?
Yes.
Months? 4 months? 3 months? 3 to 4 months. Fair enough? Did you have a... Can you raise your arms up?
Objection, Your Honor.
Can you? No, you don't.
And I'm just like...
Shit. Disgusting.
She made no attempt to hide her surprise, her disbelief, her annoyance even. But more importantly, the fact that she didn't react angrily or aggressively to his often offensive, racist, argumentative line of questioning. Because again, remember, Cardi was accused of assault. Exhibiting aggression would have proven the attorney's case. So in any situation where someone is trying to bait us into an argument or being combative with us, instead of reacting, instead of meeting their aggression, show your surprise and your disbelief about the way that they're coming at you. For example, let's say that somebody says to you, "Are you sure you have the body type for that dress?" Instead of reacting by saying, "What the fuck are you implying? Are you saying that I don't look good in this? Blah, 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 blah." You could react more like this. "Girl, what? Right body type? What are you talking about? Are you the fashion police or something? Leaning into surprise, pointing out the weirdness of their unprovoked aggression. The last thing you want to do is to match their aggression. Lesson number 2, be authentic in your reactions. For example, Cardi doesn't try to change the way she speaks, her vocabulary. She speaks the way Cardi usually speaks.
And why were you concerned?
because I'm pregnant and this girl's about to fucking beat my ass. Hello?
Hello. Hello, I'm here.
She doesn't try to hide her facial reactions. She doesn't pretend to be something she's not. Like, she doesn't back down after implying that somebody is fat. Like how she called the plaintiff security heavy.
But she is like...
What? Say it.
security heavy. Like she could protect the building type big. You know what I'm saying? She just
Right.
looked more developed than me.
You said she's bigger than you? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
I mean, look. I mean, I was 130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Objection, relevant.
Assisting.
She's a little...
You don't need to answer, man.
Cardi has a history of pretty good authenticity. For example, recently she refused to apologize to somebody else who called her fatphobic over a joke she made because it wouldn't have been authentic of her. It seems like authenticity is important to her. She doesn't sound like the type of person to mask her genuine reactions or to say something she doesn't mean. If she curses you out, you know she means it. If she apologizes, you know she means it. Authenticity builds credibility. The fact that Cardi doesn't try to be emotionally neutral or put on a facade for the courtroom signals honesty to jury members. It implicitly sends the message, if I had done what I'm being accused of doing, I would have said so with my chest. Authenticity also requires self-awareness because it requires the ability to understand the emotions simmering underneath your most surface level anger. So Cardi doesn't just react angrily. She doesn't respond aggressively to the aggression that's being presented to her. Instead, she goes a little bit deeper. She peels that first layer of anger and she looks underneath at the surprise, the disbelief, maybe even the hurt in some situations. People with low emotional intelligence don't do that. They stay at the very surface level anger, which often masks deeper emotions. So authenticity requires self-awareness, and self-awareness often means people will let you get away with a lot more. Because self-awareness signals to people, I don't need to criticize this person constantly. They know their flaws. They're well aware of them. People like that. They feel like they don't need to criticize that person as much. So when someone exhibits authenticity, it builds trust, it builds connection, it builds likability. What does this mean for the rest of us? It means when you're in an argument or when someone's trying to argue with you, there's no need to try to put on a facade or be something you're not. No need to put on therapy speak if that's not the way that you normally talk. Just be yourself. Use words that you would normally use. Be very honest, and you can do so in a way that's strategic. For example, Cardi B is honest about basically calling the plaintiff fat, but she uses very strategic language, you know? She says security heavy. She says she looks like she could protect the building. She's honest but strategic. She doesn't pretend to be something she's not. So in the context of somebody who's coming at you sideways, for example, you could say, I feel like you're trying to pick a fight with me or something. It's very honest, it's very plain, and it's also neutral, it's not biting the bait. Instead of trying to hide your emotions, show them very openly. But this is where the next lesson becomes very important, which is answer questions at face value to point out how ridiculous the implicit narrative is. You don't want to be answering the subtext of their questions. You don't want to be responding to the passive aggression underneath their questions. Instead, respond at face value to negative leading questions they may be posing. For example, the plaintiff's attorney was questioning why Cardi had her hood over her head that day. And Cardi replied that she doesn't remember exactly why she did that day, but she lists off possible reasons why she might have. Maybe my hair wasn't done, maybe my makeup wasn't done, etc., etc.
I don't really want people to recognize me. My hair not done. My makeup not done. I probably just woke up.
She doesn't lean into like, why are you asking me this? Or like, I don't know. Or like pick one specific reason if she's not sure that was the reason why she did it that day. She's being very honest. She's saying, I don't remember why I had it on that day, but these are some possible reasons why I might do that. Or when the lawyer is going on and on about her nails and the length of her nails, she doesn't say like, why are you asking me this? Or lie about the length of her nails or anything like that. She just tries to estimate how long her nails are. What does this mean for the rest of us? Let's say somebody's accusing you of having bad intentions. Let's say they were hanging out around the checkout, like in the vicinity of the checkout line, but you couldn't tell they were in line, so you stepped in ahead of them. And now they're saying, what, you didn't see me standing here? Sort of implying that you intentionally cut them off, that you feel entitled to special treatment or something. In that moment, you could play dumb and say, oh my God, I didn't see you there, but if that's not true, it's also not believable. Or you can respond combatively and get roped into an argument. Neither of those are very good options. If your intentions are truly good, then the truth is your best weapon. So instead you could say, I did see you. You were standing to the side, so I didn't realize you were waiting in line. Simple, it's honest, it's answering their question, it's not responding to the underlying passive aggressiveness in what they're asking you. Another example, let's say that you're planning a wedding and somebody you're not super close with starts sort of dropping hints that they want to get invited to your wedding. And they keep asking questions like, how many people are you inviting? Have you sent out invitations yet? And you just get this sense of pressure that they're trying to get you to invite them out of politeness. Probably not too smart to cave and say, hey, don't worry, your invite is coming soon if you don't actually want them there. Or to get angry and say, what are you implying? It feels like you're trying to get an invite and I don't like how you're doing that. Instead, just answer the questions at face value and do it very plainly. Like when they say, how many people are you inviting? I think about 60 people. Or have you sent out the invitations yet? I'm still working on the invitations. And it's also not just about what you say, but also how you say it. You gotta say it without any sort of undercurrent of malice or discomfort or anxiety, just very plainly, matter of fact, friendly, conversationally, like you're completely blind to whatever they're trying to imply. Lesson number 4, don't play innocent. For example, in the trial, CARDI flat out admits to what she said online about this accusation. She says, that's a fucking lie, fuck out of here, she's just trying to get some money.
I said, that's a fucking lie, fuck out of here, just trying to get some money.
Or at another point, she flat out says, I didn't call her fat, I called her a bitch.
You call her fat?
No, I was calling her a bitch.
She doesn't play innocent about the things she did do, because if you play innocent about things that you did do, it makes you look guilty. Instead, take responsibility for the things that you did do, and then when somebody accuses you of something that you didn't do, there's this contrast between the two, where it's like, look, I'm admitting that I did do this. If I had done this, I would also admit to that, but I didn't. Again, what does this mean for the rest of us? Let's say somebody's trying to pick a fight with you because they didn't like the tone you had yesterday. Instead of saying, I didn't have a tone, I wasn't upset at all, you can just say, I was angry, but I didn't raise my voice at you. The fact of the matter is that I was angry, and I feel like I have a right to express that in a respectful way. Don't play innocent, own up to what you did do, and then reject what you didn't do. Lesson number 5, don't rage at people for their microaggressions. I believe that the lawyer came off seeming racist and honestly misogynistic in a lot of his line of questioning. Like when he pointed out that CARDI's hair was different every day and he didn't know that she was likely wearing wigs. It just kind of shows how out of touch he is with something that's such an everyday decision for many Black women. Or when he asked her, do you know what the word ghetto means?
Do you know what the word ghetto means?
Objection, Your Honor.
Or when he asked her why she wanted to keep her pregnancy private and how he didn't understand why she would want to keep it private when she was just coming up in her career as a rapper. Like, have you ever met a woman in your life? Like, truly, you don't understand why a woman might want to keep her pregnancy private for a number of different reasons. You don't understand how women are sort of pushed away from their careers once they get pregnant. Like, really, you've never heard of that in your life. In life, there will be times when people are microaggressive, when they come off seeming bigoted, and there are also going to be times when you misinterpret what they say as microaggressive, when maybe there's a misunderstanding or they use a word incorrectly and you interpret it a different way. You don't want to come off as reactive if you misinterpret what someone is saying, and you also don't want to come off as reactive if someone is genuinely being microaggressive, because a lot of these microaggressions hinge on stereotypes about people being emotional or angry or aggressive or loud. And so if you react aggressively to their microaggressions, then they can say, whoa, I guess I proved my point. So regardless whether they did make a microaggression or you misinterpreted something as microaggressive, it can be a good idea to treat the microaggression as if it was a neutral statement. There may be times where it's appropriate to call out someone being offensive or to set a boundary, but if your goal in the situation is to avoid getting baited or pulled into an argument, which is the topic of this video, then really your goal should be to non-verbally communicate, this is weird, I'm not playing this game with you. So for example, let's say that somebody's asking you some intrusive questions about you being a mother, and you suspect that they are saying you don't do things the right way, you're not parenting the right way. So for example, they might say to you, you gave birth naturally, right? And then when you tell them, no, actually I had a C-section, they go on and on about how giving birth naturally is so much better than C-sections. Instead of getting reactive, accusing them of mom shaming or misogyny or whatever else, answer their questions neutrally. Express through your facial expressions that their behavior is weird. So when they ask, like, you gave birth naturally, right? You could say, actually, I gave birth through a C-section, right? Like, no getting defensive, no getting angry with their line of questioning, no saying, like, why are you asking me that? Oh my God, that's microaggressive. Just answer the question neutrally. And then if they start shading you, just like, oh, that's great. That's great that you gave birth naturally. Yeah, that wasn't the right choice for me. Again, it's like non-verbally communicating, you're weird, this line of questioning is weird, you're being judgmental, whatever, but you're not getting baited into it. You're not playing their game. And lesson number 6, lean into humor. For example, there's this moment when Cardi's saying, I didn't touch her, we were having a verbal altercation. And the plaintiff's attorney asks, are we having a verbal altercation now? And she makes this cutesy little face and she says, we're having a debate.
When I'm talking to you now, are we having a verbal altercation?
We having, I'll say, a debate.
And the jury laughs. When she says that, it almost feels like a breaking of the fourth wall, an acknowledgement of the attorney's argumentativeness without making any sort of personal, direct accusation at him. Part of what makes Cardi so likable is that she doesn't take herself too seriously. That gives off confidence and charisma, and it puts people at ease. Because when somebody takes themselves too seriously, they're just too serious of a person. They try too hard to be perfect. That sometimes makes other people interacting with them also feel like, oh my God, I need to be perfect, or I need to be performing, I need to be on my A game. That makes people anxious, it makes them uncomfortable, and it in turn is going to associate those uncomfortable feelings with that person. So in our own lives, when someone is trying to bait us into an argument in front of an audience, you can win the court of public perception by making the audience laugh. Like, let's say that you're at Thanksgiving dinner and your aunt keeps asking you why you and your husband don't want to have kids. Instead of getting heated by her persistent rude questions, you can just say something lighthearted like, damn, if I'd known my eggs would be in question so much today, I would have brought chicken instead. And even if there's no audience to make laugh, the same thing applies. Joking along, being lighthearted can really play in your favor. This time not with the intention of winning over the audience, but with the intention of diffusing the tension. Humor can be a great way to sort of de-escalate conflicts and also to connect with someone during a conflict. If someone is coming at you sideways, making them laugh can sort of shatter the ice. Bonus lesson before we wrap up all the lessons. I want to show you Cardi's statement after she won this case because I thought it was really masterfully said.
I swear to God, I will say it in my deathbed. I did not touch that woman. I know I got a little reputation, but I swear to God, I'm innocent. Like I'm really innocent for real. I do also want fans at home, though, not to find their social media, her family's social media, her social media, and bother her. Don't be talking about her. Don't be talking about how she looked. Don't call her no nasty names. Let's just put this behind, but I'm giving a warning. I am not that celeb that you're going to sue and you think it's going to settle. I'm not going to settle. The next person that try to do a frivolous lawsuit against me, I'm going to countersue. And I'm going to make you pay. It's been late nights and early 5:30 in the morning. I got to get up 5:30 so I can look like this for y'all. When I say that my forehead is raw from changing all these wigs, raw. Thank you guys for
It's been 7 years. How do you feel to have this done after 7 years?
this or my album.
Cardi really covered her bases with this statement because she took the high road. She said, you guys don't attack this woman. I just want to move forward. But she also threw out a warning shot. She basically said to anyone else watching who wants to start a frivolous fight with me, I'm not the one. Don't think that you can do that because next time there will be repercussions. This time I took the high road. This time I was kind. I didn't countersue, but next time that will not be the case. So what does this mean in our own lives when somebody tries to bait us into an argument? Take the high road. Don't put that person down. Don't resort to insults. Don't react. Don't take the bait. And after you win, after everybody else watching that person trying to bait you realizes that you are not in the wrong, throw out a warning shot to that person and say, listen, this time I let you speak to me this way, but moving forward, that's not going to happen. If you speak to me this way in the future, blank consequence is going to happen. Blank boundary is going to happen. Take the high road, but give a warning shot. In conclusion, when someone is trying to bait you into a fight or make you look combative into an audience, number one, lean into disbelief instead of matching their aggression. Don't react. Don't take the bait. Just be like, hey, like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? This is weird. Number two, be authentic in your reactions. Don't pretend to be somebody else. Lean into your natural facial expressions. Talk the way you normally talk. Be yourself. Number three, answer questions at face value to point out how ridiculous the implicit narrative is. Don't respond to their passive aggressiveness or the things that they're implying about you. Just answer neutrally to the surface level of what they're asking you about, and that way you come off looking squeaky clean. Number four, don't play innocent. Take responsibility for things you may have done so that when there's something that you haven't done, it builds credibility. It's like, I have no issue owning up to what I did, but I didn't do this. Number five, don't rage at people for their microaggressions. When somebody is being bigoted in some way or you suspect that they're being bigoted, again, react more with like, this is weird, like answer their questions neutrally. Don't prove the stereotype of whatever they're trying to say about you. And number six, lean into humor. Crack a joke, be lighthearted, don't take yourself too seriously, and other people, as well as the person you're interacting with, will probably like you more because of it. What did you think about Cardi B's charisma throughout this trial? What do you think about Cardi B in general? I really would love to hear in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon.